congratulations, it's great. It looks fantastic, as wonderful as it ever did. Do you remember when you were first invited to do the film? Had you not met Ang Lee before or worked with Ang Lee before?
Hello?
Hello, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I know Ang Lee before because we talk about another movie, Each Man and Woman. And at that time, I have another movie working on, so I can't work with him with that one, but we know each other. And the next time is I'm spending 7 years in Taiwan to doing costume design for theater. And after 7 years, I find that it's really difficult to continue because so less support. And then I feel the energy is, but so many good artists in Taiwan actually. And but I feel really tired. And then I get my first holiday, and I start to be with my friends and getting relaxed and then Xu Ligong, is the one who talk about the producer, one of the producer, famous in Taiwan, called me that they have something happen. You need me to come. And then after work, another big movie people calling me. And then after work, Ang Lee calling me. And they said, "Oh, can you come? Can you come tomorrow?"
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't go so fast, so that I have several days, but really fast actually. Go to Beijing to meet them. It's only 2 months left. They will start to shooting.
2 months. I had imagined that this would have taken years of preparation for you, but it was only two
months. Yeah.
How come it was only 2 months? Did somebody drop out, or did they have no money?
I think it's quite crazy because, as Ang Lee say, I'm working on 7 departments. I do scenery, props design, costume design, hair and makeup. It's quite a lot of work, and he is crazy about what he's seen. So at that time, in mainland China, they don't have so much movie like now. It's the really early beginning. But we want to work something really international quality. So it's like riding a horse and chasing so many things at once. So it's a lot of story about that.
So really,
yeah,
you were ideally qualified because you had been working not only in film, but you designed costumes and sets for dance and for theatre and spectaculars. And you're also an artist in your own right, doing your own work. So he must have been very glad you were free to do it.
At that time it's different because at that time I got 7 years in Taiwan to making all these theatre works. I just want to find the original form of like all these kind of globalism. I want to find everything like African. It's everywhere. I curious to know everything and learn the music, learn the dancing, the primitive dancing. And at that time, you can see in Crouching Tiger, I'm using a lot of dancing costume. It look like a movement. It's not like a costume. It's just so. At that time, I have a lot of help from my other experience.
Yeah, you were able to bring it in. Yes, I can see that even in, for example, Lo, Chang Chen's character. He's got those when he comes to attack the carriage. He's flowing everywhere. And it's pretty amazing, all that. Did you know the novels, the series of books that the story. Had you read them? Were they well known to you?
Yeah, I think it's famous after the movie, the novel. Yeah, so when the movie calling us, I don't really understand, what is that about. And after, like 2 months, I've been there. I start from script, talk to Ang Lee every day, and we have really strong scholars. At the same time, we are together. So I didn't start my work. I started the script.
That's good. Because you don't need really to go back to the
No.
books,
There are
do
a lot
you?
to know. A lot to know.
He's already done that work.
No. I done the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very good, and it's the books were written in the 40s, the 1940s, as I understand. So they're talking about a make-believe, a kind of fairy tale time. So it's not. Did you do historical research? I'm thinking of the costumes, for example, for Jen. That beautiful first costume she wears when her back is towards us, and then she turns around and she's wearing this beautifully embroidered.
But it's really interesting. I tell you, this is not real, because I changed the design. For you can see on the costume they have a mountain painting. They don't have mountain painting in China in embroidery, and because we want to build up some scenery things, it's become an illusion. So everything is like it's not stable. So that the dreaming of Yu Jiaolong is looking forwards, so that they have a preparation of the scene afterwards. That she is like in the mountainsides and in open area.
And it wasn't necessary for you. You were using your imagination all the time in conversation with Ang Lee.
No, we are so boring person. So we talk about anything except work.
Yeah.
Because nobody want to talk to him.
Ah.
Yeah, and nobody want to talk to me either.
So you were two lonely guys, just...
Yeah, it's not lonely, but this is so strong imagination. So that when we talk to each other, we talk about daily life, we talk about girlfriends, and we talk about so many other things. That we start in the beginning, we have some kind of hesitation, but afterwards, we become really, I think we really link up together in a way. Yeah.
Yes, you talk in your book. Let me show this book. This is Wonder and Art, highly recommended book in which Tim is in conversation with Alan McFarlane, and you talk there about working with John Woo and Akram Khan and other great artists, and you're talking about how you kind of enter each other's minds to become a kind of unity, I suppose, of ideas. Is that how you feel you've worked out here?
I think more and more, because my friend like Bill Gong, the very famous producer, they always ask me to get away with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Don't talk about it anymore. You have to get away with it, because you are in your future. You are not doing the past. But I feel different, because every time people invite me to Crouching Tiger, I will be there. And every time I'm seeing something different. And we need something like Crouching Tiger, because it's cycling the kind of energy.
Also, something that occurs to me seeing it now is that you're developing artistic interest. You talk about a new Orientalism. This seems to be perhaps even the beginning of that journey, which is a kind of not explaining but revealing China and its ways of thinking to the West. And I think this is what Ang Lee is trying to do in this film. Yeah. So you must have felt a very strong vibration between each other.
I think when we go to there, it's not just a concept. It's something like a new area. It's like a new world, but multitask. It's not just one task. The education, told me that there are one world, one logic and things, but I don't think so. So it's really difficult to tell something in a simple way. But you have to be talking in simple, but not simple way.
Both at the same time, both here and not here, both simple and not simple.
Because it's really simple. The simple is changing, merging. There's so many things that underneath reason to make something happen, so that you can't say is it good or not. You can't give a simple definition, but you can go through it. I feel like this movie is like I hate to be writing script sometimes, because you make something that make people believe. I hate that, because I would love to. Every art is about real things, real experience. You have to go through something real and to write about it. It's not writing something become true. They'll never happen. So they must have something hiding. So when I work for Ang Lee, it's a big dark hole. It's a really deep. It's not including himself, but also the culture, also so many things. And we talk about Li Mubai. I see it changing. His eyes is like changing, and I think it's shooting so good. Everyone like Yu Xiaolian, Michelle Yang, is so good. So that you can get something you can definite between the three character. You can do it, and I see, because I'm there. I see sometimes Zhang Ziyi cannot go in that complicated, so they keep it in an objective way. Zhou Wenfa is so clever, so experienced, so that don't let him acting anything. Just hold it.
He's very.
Yu Xiaolian is really good at acting in this movie.
Yeah, he's very.
He make the things. He make that kind of atmosphere floating in the image.
Yes, it's very powerful, the performances that emerge. I'm listening to him talk on the DVD commentary. He talks in the towards the end where Michelle Yeoh has to do that great weeping scene over how you had to time it so she's ready to do that. Otherwise, she would have no tears left. And he's obviously very...
Yeah, exactly. I think the whole film now, my understanding is talk about honest. The kind of honest is so difficult.
Yeah.
So the Li Mubai is running in the circle of the honesty. So that he feel, but he want to hiding. Even at the end, he still want to hiding. And Yu Xiaolian give it a chance to, okay, no need to hide
anymore.
I accept it, and then let's keep your mind. Let keep it. Don't need to do anything. The kind of things. So that I think it's this kind of thing make the Western is understand what is happening on the film, and this is really important.
Were you surprised or by the international? So that's what everybody was aiming at, I think, and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Were you surprised by just how successful it was?
Surprised
as in you never imagined it would be that big.
Sometimes I forget that kind of surprise.
You're used to it, that's why.
Yeah. I always thinking something simple.
Yeah.
And then and he told me that after many years, he found that I'm not doing anything to selling myself, to be more things or whatever, and he understands who I am.
You've never had an opportunity to work together again, I don't think. Is that right?
No, we have a lot of planning, but didn't work out. It's quite a lot of different.
You're too
projects.
busy. That's why.
I think we want to be the best, so always have thinking really accurate. So it's sometimes difficult, really difficult.
Yes. Now, Tim, I want you to tell me before I ask people whether they have questions. It's great that you're in London, but I know you didn't come just for this. So I wondered what you're up to, what you're busy with at the moment.
I want to try to make movie, but it's so difficult. And but we still try, to make a best one.
And is this you as a director?
Yeah,
now?
director.
Yeah. And this is the logical place for you to go today. Have you directed a couple of
long movie, short movie?
Yeah. So now the big step is to get
because
the money for a feature.
My thinking is different because I trying so many things, not just movie. So
sure, of course.
it seems like now I have a chance to sit down and thinking what is next. But now is in this year I really lucky that I have a chance to make my thought more clearly by publishing many book, like the book in your hand, and many together. It's like eight books together to talk about my thought. So I think it's a really good time for me. And then I should give something out. Yeah, I should create something. Yeah.
Yes. Because your role in this film and in the many other films you've done, it's kind of the production designer and costume designer art. It's kind of interpretative, isn't it? Because there's the director's vision, and it's not quite the same as directing the thing yourself.
But I'm working in many films. You can see I'm thinking all this design actually is about the script, about how to put people to something of experience. It's not just talking about the story. Only with me is the same. We don't believe in story. We believe in something happen.
Yeah, action.
And you're seeing it. You are there.
Yeah.
When the thing happen, you are there. That's what we want the audience to be. It's not like understand what I'm saying. I'm saying is nothing. But you experience something that is real, because it's according to what you have in your life, so that you move by the film and then you experience something.
Yes, it from that sounds to me that it moves more towards opera and dance and an emotional punch that's more than just people chatting away. And and you're very experienced in all of those things, which is just as well. Okay, please, who has got... Oh, there's one, and there's the microphone going back there. Thank you for passing that along. Yes, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Tim. I'm actually very interested in the research process of making all the costume and production design. So thank you, Gary, for bringing that up. And also, I'm very interested in how did you go on recce or scout all those very beautiful places? And it was like 20 years ago, so there was no internet that much at that time. And also, there is another question, because that is a very, very international production, as we see, and how did you manage to make everybody on set or in post-production understand the culture behind the film? Thank you.
So two questions there, yeah? One is about location scouting, and the other is about working with all the people. Do you want to talk about the location scouting? Were you involved in that, or did you come on too late?
Yeah, I have involved. I think it's because we were creating the style, we're creating what we want, and then they will build up the whole language. So when we talk to Ang Lee, we will understand more, and also he understand more at the same time. And for locations, they always have two ways of making location. One is the realistic location, and another one is in building the set, right? In Crouching Tiger, I think half of this is building, so that everything is controlled in my hand, so that you see the last scene of like a water caves, and then I make that like it's like a woman. It's like a woman body actually. It's an empty woman body. I think this is a good place to end the film. So it's all kind of that. I answered 2 questions. One question is how I involve in the film and how we create the film. I have to talk to Ang Lee. I give him the model. I give him why I doing that. I give him the colors and things, and he say, oh. And then we're talking in another language actually, because it's like a second language on my language. I call it second language. Second language means they have a realistic base, but we build it up about the realistic to become something even more clear about what happened and what we want to talk about.
Like a second poetic.
Yeah, poetic.
Yeah.
Poetic. Or even sometimes it's more violence, to push you into something, really touchy. Yeah. And
sure.
Yeah. And am I answered the first question?
That'll do, I think. Yes, thank you.
How about the others? How about the another?
The second question is working post-production. I don't know how much you were involved in that, as for to get all the international artists working post-production to understand the Chinese culture of the film.
Nightmare. so difficult. So difficult. Because at that time, in Beijing, they have a Beijing Film Studio. It's making a lot of really ancient film, and also they have a way. They have the way to making movies.
Sure.
But when we want to move to something like more, international scale, nobody understands what you're saying. And then we have to, but Ang Lee want that. So that I am just chasing everyone. I think the only way.
Yeah, it was a great period of
exercising.
Yeah. Running very hard to get
because
everything.
I have so many departments.
Yes, you must have been.
And there are not so much people actually.
Really?
They have some of them is really good, but they're making movie forever, like, so that they have several people can make the whole film. That the creation of God, I have like 100 times more people. But it's not. I think it's not different. It's the same. Something like the problem is the same. Yeah.
I'm thinking about, there are 2 sets on this topic I would like to ask you about while I've got the time. They're 2 caves. One is Lo's cave and the other is Jade Fox's cave. I mean, they look incredibly natural. They look as though they really are, but they are sets, aren't they? And I think especially Jade Fox's cave with the water and all that kind of thing. That's beautiful. Really, really lovely and sinister at the same time.
Yeah, I think we will talk about, in the Lo Xiaofu, the character in the desert. He is living in the they call 5 colors mountain.
Yeah.
So that inside the cave you can see 5 color also influence, the interior of the design. And Yu Jiaolong, the last set, is like a factory of making the ceramic, so that you can see a lot of big ceramic is over there, but it's already like nobody care. So that this is it's like an empty space,
it's like
a home
abandoned,
space.
left, an abandoned space.
Yeah. So that it is like it is like a dead place actually, and then water coming in is like a body of a woman. It's something like the Jade Fox kind of feeling. And Yu Jiaolong is always talk about something energy, like infinity energy, but no moral. So that is like a like that. But it's also like Zhang Langhe is the master of the Mubai. They are the same problem. They like women. They like little woman.
curious.
No, you know that it's like the whole thing is like he know that this is not right, but he cannot get away of that. So that he keep being lying. He keep pretending, but he always thinking of something to make it happen that they bring the girl to the Wudang-san. So this is like a stand-off. But we don't talk about it in the movie. We keep it together. But at the end, almost falling out.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole, reading about the film, there's a whole line of, it's a very feminist film because the women in the culture would not have the opportunity. In fact, it's spoken about very clearly. As soon as she's married, Jen, her life is over. And she's rebelling against that.
We talk about something more deeply. It's about, when you go into the top level of Tao, you don't know nothing anymore. But at the same time, ghost is there too. Not just the sunshine, not just positive things. The negative thing is also there. They never, even into the last minute, two of them are there. You have to find the balance of two of them.
The yin and the yang.
But in Li Mubai, he's a little bit unclear, so that he can't fix. He make the tragic of he dying because he can't fix.
He can't make it work.
And he don't want to make a bad name of doing something like that, so that he wanted to be a student, to get a student. But Yu Xiaolan is tracing. Are you want to marry with me?
I think so.
It's something like she is tracing. In other way, you can feel the volumes getting higher and higher. Yu Xiaolan is waiting, finding, definding, and I think she is know so many things happening. Yeah,
it's good. Thank you. Any other questions for Tim? Oh, there must be. No. Well, how very respectful. There's one. Thank you.
Hi, very nice to meet both of you. So I've watched the film, quite a few years ago, and now watching it again. So back then, one of my biggest confusion is why Jen at the end jumped from the cliff. I've read several different interpretations online about it, but I think today one of the line that I noticed today, but not before, is when Jade Fox said that Wudang wouldn't accept any women as the student. So one of the interpretation I saw of Jen jumping off the cliff is that she felt like there's no place for her in this world. And is that part of the reason why? Because, Li Mubai is dead now and no one's gonna kind of vote for her to join Wudang, and Wudang wouldn't accept any female student.
I think the whole thing is questioning about what is the highest point. Like every Tao master, they want to get to that point. But when you get to that point, it's really difficult. So that we follow, even Li Mubai at the end, he's a really good man. In the whole society, he do a lot. And he doing many good things. And now when he want to go, he have something like dirty. The kind of dirty maybe not for common people, but for him, it's a big thing. So that he is following that and turning bigger. When they see another flower is falling like that. It's something like him. Something like when you're getting power, what is you learning for? For Tao, what are you looking for? What are you want to become? So that at the end, in this movie, we can find that we call it Xuan. It means surreal a little bit. But surreal is so practical. 你们有英文会讲英文的吗？玄虚是什么？玄虚是什么？ I can speak in like definition. It's the mystery of truth, so that it is it's not physical, but something true. But in China culture, we're always looking for that. We're always talking about that. We're not talking about the real world. We're talking about above.
So, to respond to the question, I doubt whether there's a simple, easy interpretation of her doing her.
Okay, I give my version. Maybe I will change another year. But for this moment,
good. Yeah.
because they're using a word honesty. Because of honesty, because she is so complicated.
Yes.
You know, Li Mubai is also complicated, and then he jumping to the. It means he honest. He didn't have another thought. Even dying, he want to get that clear.
Jen is a very complicated character. It seems to me her journey through the film is incredibly complicated. She seems, in Western terms, she'd be what we would call defensive, because she's constantly batting even generous gestures away. She doesn't.
You can see how it just set up like that, because it's against all the standards of the society. The society is not a real society, but it's like a jianghu. It's like all this kung fu master building up a relationship to become, you are from who, you are from who, you're a student of who, and they become different things, and like all these things to become a jianghu. So in jianghu, they have their own the kind of relationship to making something different. And sometimes it's go from really old moral, somehow like San-Guo-Yan, it's like a free kingdom. They have built up many, you have to treat your friend like you have to give your life because of you want to save your friends, something like that. And then you have to give your life to the nation.
Right.
There are so many these kind of
rules, and
this thing is like it come from really goodwill, but at the end become fate.
Yes.
Everyone using this thing to be, like the whole film is making joke about that kind of.
A joke.
So the Yu Jiaolong is like, oh, I don't care about what is happening.
I
but
don't care, she says.
But Li Mubai is caring.
Yes.
All the time.
All the time. And look what happens to him.
Yeah.
No, I can see that. It's full of interesting contradictions. Any? Yes, thank you.
May I ask maybe a follow-up question? Having worked with Anne, Tim, which character would you say his mindset is closest to? I'm a huge fan of all of his films, so I'm curious.
So what you want to know?
Wants to know who is Ang Lee himself of the characters closest to?
From my understanding, he is hiding all the time and being good, want to be being good, and then he have a really wild heart. Every time he cannot solve one problem, he make a movie because he cannot doing it.
So he's like Li Mubai, really.
Li Mubai is from the time that he make Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. He's changing a lot. You see, every movie is something
different.
Related to it.
They really
something
are different
inside. So that like the script writer, is really a nightmare. We work with him. You have to make sure you're writing everything inside himself.
I mean, when you consider this is the director of Sense and Sensibility, Brokeback Mountain, The Incredible Hulk, and Lust, Caution. I mean, that's quite a journey. So he may have been Li Mubai here, but he might be somebody quite else in those other films.
I think it's really interesting. I can't say that because it's open.
Yes, don't embarrass
I think
yourself.
he is quite a passion guy. Many passion. So his body is already painted.
Huh.
Yeah, it's already, when we making the productions of Crouching Tiger, he cannot walk, and he just falling down in the studio. He cannot control. It's like he's using. Somebody say he's using lies to make the movie, because it's really something that he cannot solve. He living in movie to solve the problem.
Huh.
But when he make a movie out, maybe he can get lighter. And then
Lighter.
another thing happen.
Strength is light as a feather. I remember that line in the film. What character are you most like, Tim, or were you at this time? Were you?
This movie?
Yes, we like Julien.
I feel really tired in the beginning because I feel there are not so much hope in art world. It's like everyone energy is not going up. So I take a rest. I feel really tired because I don't know who can work with, like that kind of thing. Until we making Crouching Tiger is also in that kind of feeling. So I feel really boring, no hope, really frustrating, really anger, like that kind of. And then when I see ending, also good. Now we're paying something.
Yeah,
we do something.
It changes very quickly.
You see a lot of the little story in the Crouching Tiger make two of us laugh again and again and again. Yeah,
and the character of the servant of Serte, Bo. He's a great character. He often makes you laugh in the film. He falls over or he misunderstands something, and there's lots of humour in the film. It isn't just tragedy.
I think his way of working. Yeah, his way always making something funny in the early movie too. So it's the way to communicate to the audience. He's a really great cook, you know that. He can cook really well.
Oh well, we must invite him over.
Every time I go to his home, he's cooking something. Yeah.
Oh, great!
So he's like cooking.
Yeah.
So that he gives something spicy, gives something, every kind of thing, a little dishes and he told me that you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry. Everyone have 10 minutes in my film. It means that I don't have to building everything in every set. I must have 10 minutes to showing my work in the film.
Oh, that's good. It's a relief. One of the things that I'm aware of in watching it is that the action choreography, the fights. I presume you must have been involved in that because you were directly affected. They had to be able to move in the costumes, and I guess you had to alter or build sets that would make life a little easier. How interesting was that? That must have been the first time you were involved in that, I would have thought. Was it?
Oh, Better Tomorrow is also action.
It's
okay. Early,
that was earlier.
John Woo movie, yeah.
Because
I quite used to work with the choreography of fighting.
I mean, the fights in this are...
And you can see my design is always really understand fighting.
Yeah, you can see it in the costumes, which are amazing. Nothing tight at all. I've got a minute. Last question. And there it is. And the mic is coming your way.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Tim. It's very nice to watch the movie, especially you're here as well. Yes, so I'm quite interested in the costume that you made and all the setup. They are amazing and beautiful. I wonder, because although this from a fantasy and novel, I'm sure it's based on certain historical background. So I assume it might be based on Ming or Qing, maybe more likely Qing. Yes, I noticed that many costumes at the first half of the movie, what Jen should wear, many of them are very beautiful. So I wonder, especially when you have only 2 months time, right? That you do lots of effort on how make it match with the history on those costumes and all the setup, everything.
I think no matter how short I can do the film. But you won't see any losing detail. The detail is really really strong, but really really carefully selected. You know how to make the costume. Every time, even though they are according to the historical reference, but every time I doing different. Like maybe you have seen 大明公子. You see Ye Yan. All costume is different. It's not different design. It's different structure. It's different time and different language.
Will you emphasize on reflecting, like at that time, or you emphasizing more?
I think everything is
movie?
inside. Now we know that 20th century, we developed the language of image, right? So that it is about language of image. How much I want to use it in surreal, how much I use it in realistic, how much according to the history, is according to what is the story want to bring, what experience want to bring to the audience. So that for me, art direction is more faster than the script. You know that when a style actor, you can see him 1 second, you know who there, what is the situation, and we can do really detail the kind of experience. Even though when seeing themselves, they will feel really strong. You must heard about some of the story that people dressing my clothes, they will know how to act.
It's a very interesting insight. The kind of photographic moment where you see an actor in a costume, and you know something. Yeah, even if what follows is subverted in some way, you make. I suppose you do that in life, don't you? Well, some people do. I've got no idea. Okay, I have to stop. Thank you for coming, Tim Yip. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.